Coming up, an alarming hawk alert interrupts the weekend. And later, possible new information on COVID-19.
One of the most thrilling weekends in Hawkeye history. We'll have more in sports.
And I'm really hoping this stays true, but spring looks to finally be on its way to Iowa City.
This is DITV News at 8:30. Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM. I'm Johnny Valtman. A reported gunshot occurred early Sunday morning in Clinton Street Alley in Iowa City. All students were alerted via Hawk Alert at 12:37 a.m., followed by a message to resume all normal activity just before 3 a.m. Police report that the incident appeared to be isolated, yet are still looking for a suspect who was reported to be wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and have a multicolored hat. If you have any information, please report it to the local Iowa City Police Station. Following last night's Hawk Alert about shots fired on South Clinton Street, DITV reporter and digital liaison Abigail Curtin talks to experts and students on their thoughts related to guns and gun violence on campus.
Last November, 65% of Iowa voters voted yes on Iowa Amendment 1, which added the right to bear firearms to the Iowa Constitution, in addition to requiring strict scrutiny for any alleged violations in a court of law. The amendment was supported by hundreds of thousands of Iowans and the Iowa Firearms Coalition, who aim to empower all through the use of firearms.
People in this day and age want to be able to defend themselves, not just themselves, but their families, their homes, their neighborhoods, and if necessary, the state of Iowa. The likelihood that you'll be killed or injured by someone you don't know with a firearm outside of 6 or 8 major cities is very infinitesimal. So why would you restrict the rights of all?
According to the Iowa Board of Regents, gun violence trends have slightly increased in the past few years, with 0 incidents taking place in 2020 and 3 incidents taking place in 2021 and 2022. This follows nationwide debate over whether guns should be allowed on college campuses and several states proposing bills to allow it. And following the deadly mass shooting that took 3 students' lives at Michigan State last week, Iowa students are nervous about the future of firearms on campus.
I believe that as a student, I wouldn't be safe if I had other students having firearms, especially if it's carry conceal type situation.
I think it is something that I do worry about because we just have been seeing so many more shootings even in the past year, and I feel like it's only going to get worse.
And though the future of firearms on college campuses across the nation is relatively uncertain, the Iowa Board of Regents says Iowa Amendment 1 will not affect their firearm policy. From Iowa City, Abigail Curtin, DITV.
The origin of the COVID-19 virus has continued to cause controversy. DITV News reporter Noah Klosterman has more.
A new report by the U.S. Energy Department, which was originally shared with the White House, contradicts the previous conclusion among U.S. intelligence agencies on the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. The report suggests that the virus most likely escaped from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. The report does not identify a specific lab or source of the leak, but it raises suspicions about China's role in covering up the outbreak.
We need to find out exactly how the coronavirus, the COVID virus, hit the world and caused millions of deaths, not just in America, but all around the world.
The assessment follows the GOP lawmakers' calls for more investigation into the lab leak theory. China has since denied the allegations of a lab leak and accused the U.S. of politicizing the issue. For DITV, I'm Noah Klosterman.
Now, it was such a nice sunny weekend, and then I woke up this morning and my socks are damp. Ashley, what can we expect for the rest of this week?
Thanks, Johnny. I loved this weekend's sunny weather, but I am also pretty disappointed for this rain today. If we take a live look outside right now, it is currently rainy and 50 degrees. The rain is expected to stop soon within the hour, and the rest of the day is expected to stay cloudy and windy. It will, however, be pretty warm with a high of 52 degrees. Tonight, the temps will drop down to 29 with more cloudy skies as well. Tomorrow will be pretty similar with a high of 49 and a low of 35 and more overcast skies. And we can even expect a little bit more of those showers tomorrow evening. Thankfully, the rest of the week, the temps will stay pretty consistent with highs in the 40s and 50s and some partly cloudy skies. This means there might be a chance for that sunshine to continue to melt the rest of the snow away. And now, Johnny, I know you love the snow, but after this weekend, I have got a taste of spring, and I'm ready for the sun and warmer temps to keep coming our way to Iowa City.
I think I am too. The snow's nice, but I am just sick of this cold. Thanks, Ashley. The University of Iowa's distance education courses released their 2021-2022 school year statistics, which continue to show an upward trend of distance education. The university last year saw a 4% increase of undergraduate students who took distant courses and a 13% increase in graduate students. Dennis Jordan, an online business teacher at the university, thinks these classes benefit the students, saying, quote, "The students don't have to travel to a classroom and be there in person per se. That also allows students that are maybe in the Iowa City area to participate," end quote. If there was one good thing to come from the pandemic, online schooling has to be one of them. For more than 6 years, residents of the nearby Forest View Mobile Home Park have faced uncertainty. We have Daily Iowan Managing Digital Editor Ryan Hansen live in the newsroom to tell us more. Ryan, what did you learn in your reporting on the park?
Well, Johnny, I think a lot of the things that I learned were that residents were just stuck in this limbo in the park, and it's a really tight-knit community out there. So as conditions started deteriorating, the city, the Forest View Tenants Association, and the developer Blackbird all got together to sort of redevelop the park into both a commercial and a affordable housing area. But those plans unfortunately fell apart because of the pandemic.
Now, since those negotiations fell apart, what have Forest View residents endured, and what are they going to do?
Well, Johnny, a lot of those Forest View residents are from low-income households, so it isn't just easy for them to just get up and get out of the park without sort of enduring a lot of cost. So the city had to step in. The city provided $15,750 in American Rescue Plan Act funds for these residents to get out of the park. Now, where did they go? One city official told me that most relocated within Johnson County. A lot of them relocated within Iowa City. Now, Johnson County has the highest two-bedroom apartment rent in the state of Iowa. So that assistance certainly helped, but it doesn't go a long way necessarily, Johnny. Back to you.
Thank you, Ryan. Des Moines-based tequila bar Koa Katina has made its way to Iowa City. The bar is located at 18.5 Clinton Street. The bar will serve made-from-scratch tortas, tacos, burritos, and nachos, along with various cocktails such as Bloody Marias, Mexican ashtrays, ranch waters, and 8 types of margaritas. The new location opened up last Friday. And now let's send it to DITV Sports with Michael Merrick.
Thanks, Johnny. There were a couple of amazing basketball games at Carver this weekend, and I got to call both Hawkeye Basketball wins, including yesterday's thrilling win over the number 2 ranked Indiana Hoosiers. DITV Sports reporters AJ Reister and David Consuelos were at Carver for what many have called the game of the year.
Sinano comes to set a screen for Clark. They overplay Clark. Sinano slips, ties it. They get it to Clark. She gets it open, looks for 3. Game! Bottoms! Caitlin Clark! She does it once again!
Those are the situations like I would put myself in with my 2 brothers out in the driveway. Like, that's what we would do. Like, and that's still what I do. Like, when I come in the gym and shoot by myself, like, those are the situations like you dream of and want to be on. And I'm lucky enough to be able to do it for this team and in front of 15,000 people that want to come and scream about it.
Obviously, that was just an unbelievable game for women's basketball. 2 really good basketball teams in an unbelievable environment. It's exactly everything you want, and obviously the good guys won in the end. So,
you kind of have to flip a switch when tournament time comes. The regular season doesn't really matter anymore. As fun as it was, we have a 24-hour rule. Our group has been there. We've been to the championship and lost. We've been to the championship and won. And at this point in the season, everybody knows your play calls. You know even other players by name, basically on the scout. So it's truly just a grind.
The Hawkeyes will travel to Minneapolis for the Big Ten tournament starting March 1st, and then prepare for the NCAA tournament starting March 17th.
Guaranteed we're going to be the top 50 seed and be back here.
From Carver Hawkeye Arena, David Consuelos,
AJ Reister,
DITV Sports.
And the Iowa men's basketball team had their own all-time thriller at Carver Hawkeye Arena. DITV Sports reporter Sarah Galla was there to witness the legendary finish on Saturday.
And it's the comeback story of the season as the Iowa Hawkeyes proved that anything's possible here today at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Right at tip-off, it overall was a neck-and-neck first half. As the Hawkeyes would score a basket, the Spartans would retaliate and do the same. Ending the first half, the score of the overall game was tied up 42-42. Moving on into the second half, Michigan State managed to keep a comfortable lead over the Iowa Hawkeyes.
The Spartans were up 11 points with a minute and 30 seconds left.
Although there was no doubt in the Iowa Hawkeyes' minds that the game was over.
You know, I've coached a lot of games and I've been in this situation before. They were never out of it. In their minds, they were never out of it. And that's the best feeling as a coach, because then you can just concentrate on what you might want to run.
And with such an electric stadium, it truly boosted the energy of the team.
The Hawkeyes managed to execute perfectly in that last minute.
And they just kept making plays, defensively and offensively. Intelligent fouls, quickly, good traps, steal, fine shooters.
Peyton Sanford hit a three-pointer to tie up the overall game, making it 101-101.
We just had to keep fighting, believe, and it was an incredible effort.
And in overtime, the Hawkeyes ended up winning against the Spartans with a final score of 112-106.
We wanted it more once we came back and once we saw we brought everything we got.
Overall, this was an exciting win and much celebration came from it.
From Carver Hawkeye Arena, I'm Sarah Galla, DITV Sports.
The Iowa Hawkeye baseball team pulled off an incredible upset when they knocked off the #1 ranked LSU Tigers 12-4. And it would be Brennan DeRigi who would lead the Hawks offensively, hitting 2 doubles and a home run to tally his game-high 5 RBIs. The Hawkeyes would hold the Tigers to just 4 runs on 4 hits and had 15 strikeouts in the first victory over a #1 ranked team in Hawkeye baseball history. Iowa would finish the Round Rock Classic, beating Kansas State in a close 6-5 battle, moving to 5-1 on the young season. Hawkeyes will return to Dwayne Banks Field tomorrow to take on Loras College. And the Iowa softball team almost continued the weekend's theatrics, but ultimately they could not come out with the victory despite leading for a majority of the game. The Hawkeyes are the only unranked team to stay within 1 run of the #1 ranked UCLA Bruins and performed very well on the circle, holding the Bruins to just 2 runs in their 2-1 loss. Hawkeyes would finish with a 2-3 record on the weekend with wins over CSUN and Bethune-Cookman. Now come back on Wednesday for all the latest in Hawkeye sports. I'll send it back to you, Ashley.
Thanks, Michael. And thankfully, besides the rain and clouds, this week will be quite nice to spend some time outside. However, this was not the case for the western states this weekend. Snowfall continued to surprise Californians and much of the West Coast states. This caused some residents to be stuck in their homes, rock slides, national parks closing, and trouble on major highways. Most of Southern California was under blizzard warnings, and the snow mostly hit around the mountain areas, but those mountains were hit with several feet of snow over the weekend. So I'm just hoping that the snow does not come back and spread it back over here to the Midwest, but it may be possible. Back to you, Johnny.
Yeah, they can keep it out west. And I'd like to thank you for tuning in to DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7 FM. Be sure to head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. And check out more of our content on thedailyiowan.com/DITV News. And happy early birthday to all the leap year babies out there. We don't get a birthday this year, so tomorrow is our birthdays. I'm Johnny Valtman. Have a great day.